Hello, my brethren and sisterins of North America. We be gathered here today to honor FlyQuest, our goats of North America, falling just shy 3-2 to Gen G. It looked good, it was close. We use this moment to honor FlyQuest. And they made it farther than the EU though. But welcome to Risen Esports, everybody. I'm DBZ Freak 2. That's Cilantro on the other side. We're feeling pretty good. Actually, are you feeling good? How'd the Bengals do?
No, we won. It should,
Oh,
for the first time since 2017, beat the Browns at home. So, it's or at their home. So finally a good up and up. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I can't say much because I picked in my pick'ems, I picked Gen G over FlyQuest. So, I
yes,
was
dude.
I was not a believer in the slightest. Smite me down if you must. I did not care. At the end of the day, I was right, so I get my +10.
That's fair enough, and we are here now tonight for Dominant League, or I guess this evening rather, depending on where you are. We have Dragoons versus the Straw Hat Pirates. It's going to be a pretty fun series today. Both teams, not where they want to be in the standings at the moment, but I'm looking forward to seeing what could potentially happen for this series. We're still on 14-21 week, or 14-20 rather.
I
We
was gonna say
could
we
see
went ahead in time.
I've been seeing the notes already for what they have planned. So I'm like, wait a minute, hold on.
Silver
But
buffs.
yes, Cyberbucks is going to be pretty exciting. But these two teams are looking to kind of go up more in the standings, so that way that they can kind of make their push for playoffs. Looking forward to seeing what they can do today. How are you feeling about today's matchup in particular?
I'm assuming both these two teams, looking at it, like you mentioned, not exactly where they want to be, but this is a matchup where it really kind of separates you from the latter half of the rest of the league.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Well, you might not be considered fighting for that kind of top spot at the moment. You do kind of want to separate yourself from the bottom half, get yourself
Yes.
middle in the pack, much like the Atlanta Falcons. So you kind of just want to set the tone so that maybe you can make that wild card playoff run later on,
Mm-hmm.
and that's progress each and every season. Every time you can make it into the playoffs, you say, hey, we made it to playoffs. Next season, let's go guaranteed playoffs, and the next season, let's go deeper playoff run. It's just all about steady incline of growth and improvement, and
Yes.
winning matches like this are what kind of set that tone and tempo.
Definitely agree with you on that one. As we're going ahead and getting ready to get into draft here shortly, it is going to be a fun banger time. I'm having an even more of a banger time because the Lions have just won, but these two teams are looking to get a dub for themselves today. So we're going to go ahead, kick it off, begin draft in just a short couple of moments. And I don't know if we're expecting anything kind of spicy in terms of picks. There is a universe where I can foresee maybe even a rise in random Galio priority, as with how much we've been seeing it in Worlds. We have seen, in particularly in the higher elos, of that Rumble priority. So interesting to see if we are going to end up seeing that Galio coming in, whether it's in the mid lane or the top lane, arguably maybe even support as well. Overall, I think we're in for a fun time as we're going ahead and getting into draft right now. So we'll go ahead and get that party started. So we have Straw Hat Pirates on the blue side, Dragoons on the red side. They will go ahead and take away the Aurora. Not shocking in the slightest whatsoever. That champion is incredibly strong still, despite the nerfs that she has endured. Some players still fear this champion, and honestly, I agree with them. I don't want to get one shot by that champ either.
I would not be surprised if Yone is going to get taken off the table here soon too. Okay, Sante, we're just going for the
I'm cool
meta
with that.
picks, the meta bends. Take that off the table. No Shurima action happening here, as the Talia is going to be taken away as well. Probably a comfort pick for either the mid or jungler over on the side of Straw Hat Pirates. Dragoons just maybe trying to take that one away. Now next up, we could be expecting maybe some bot lane pans away. Skarner.
Oh,
Never
Garner.
mind. Skarner's a great team fighting jungler, has a lot of high priority, but definitely want to see. I would be surprised if the Kaisa makes it past the banning phase. Camille gonna be next onto the board. Okay, so just top laner bans straight out the board from Straw Hat Pirates. It looks like they're targeting Dragoon's top laner here in the bans, or even potentially the mid laner if Aurora would be to be played in the mid lane. But she, with her
Mhm.
short range, she is mostly played in the top side. And lastly, what can we round this out with? And a Moo ban. Okay,
No
so
AD
full bot
bans.
lane on the table.
Yeah, right. As you were saying, you were expecting a like an AD ban, whether specifically the Kaisa. I'm actually shocked we got no AD bans because I know what we're used to seeing is at least seeing one throughout the phase,
Look,
and
there she
Kaisa
is.
is going to being first picked. Look at you.
I mean, this is the best AD carry in the game right now, so like it's to be expected.
Absolutely expected. So Dragoon, you do see the Kaisa typically what's picked into it. We've seen the Ezreal be picked. We've seen Jinx be picked. We've also seen Xayah be picked. So if Dragoons wanted to slap Xayah Rakan right now, I think that would be okay. But they could completely forego that and decide to go something else. I mean, there's lots of things that they can go for. I wouldn't recommend blinding top right now, but there is the Jinx response. There's one of the responses that we see into Kaisa. Don't know why I almost called her Callista for some reason, but Dragoons now can go ahead and maybe take away that support. Rel is like the support to pair with Kaisa right now because with that Madness Storm and the ulti combo of the Killer Instinct off the Kaisa, that just makes her give that easy access to that backline to absolutely destroy this Jinx. And Jinx is very immobile, so once this Kaisa gets on top of her, it will be dangerous. So if Dragoons take away the Rel, that will not be much of a surprise to me. They might pick their jungle right now. They're going to go ahead and pick the Braum instead, which I think is also a really good pick. I think they have to probably pair a strong jungler with it when we get to R3. But I'm liking what I'm seeing so far out of both these teams. They're kind of like, they're willing to just kind of send it right now.
I don't think the Braum is terrible, but I don't think picking the Braum this early is good either. I think it could be very easily well played around and countered now for the side of Straw Hat Pirates. So I don't really it could be maybe a strong comfort pick, and then they're thinking, that the Kaisa can't get any ISO cues off, with Braum being able to jump from target to target. So but yeah, like you mentioned, they're going to be able to pick up this Rel. Now they're going to have a much stronger bot lane core, in my opinion, on the side
Oh,
of Straw
yeah.
Hat Pirates. Now, whether they're going to round out the jungler or maybe to go for a potential blind mid or top here. Jungle. Oh, actually, they want to look like they want to go for the way. I was going
Wait.
to say that you could round out a Sejuani here combined with the Rel, and you would have a very disgusting engage
Ooh,
core.
yeah.
But it's looking like they kind of want to just blind the way and take that mid lane prio and comfortability right out the gate.
I have no problems with that either. I think the Wei is a fine blind pick. For anyone who hasn't been keeping up, that Wei did get buffs to his shield, so that's why we've been seeing a little bit more priority in the Wei. Now Dragoons here, they might either respond with their own mid lane pick to avoid mid lane bans coming out, or they might go ahead and pick their jungler right now and maybe avoid jungle bans for the next phase. I don't anticipate one bit of them picking the top laner here, as Yone will be the lock. All right, so that's a champion that only has a 90-something% presence at Worlds right now, and it got buffed this patch. It was really the Q crit, but still strong champ.
Yeah. A minute. This still can be somewhat of a flex pick. They could throw this into the top lane if they realistically wanted to. I don't know how it's gonna fare up against the Wei. Realistically, if the Wei can go win out in the trades without taking any like unnecessary melee range strains on the own, it could be pretty good for them. But who knows what we'll see. Yone's notorious right now for split pushing, because he just
True.
wins every 1v1 at the moment. So, but Shen going to be taken off the table, arguably one of the better, honestly, under the table top laners right now since the recent patches. I think he's absolutely in a phenomenal spot. I think he's a little underrated. Should definitely get played a little bit more, in my opinion.
I think draft law might have broke. Oh, yep, they said it froze.
Oh no!
Right.
Everything's breaking. It's a sign. It's
You know,
upset that NA lost.
you know why it broke too? Because yes, NA lost, and we have a Yone in our game. That's the second reason.
You locked
The
Yon, man. You broke the game.
the second it was picked, Droplaw was like, psych. Okay, so they're gonna go ahead and remake the draft. So we will go ahead and kind of go over what we've seen thus far, as it looks like it actually just started working again. Hold on a minute. Maybe did they realize or did they close it yet?
Oh, it looks like it. It looks like it. We've moved on to blue side ban. The Shen ban hover for so long, man. They were so undecisive. They got an extra 30 seconds to ban it.
I wonder if that's what they actually wanted to do, though. So they will go ahead and ban the Vi away. So maybe the Shen was the ban that they wanted to go for. We might hear otherwise in a moment. But, yep. Okay, they will go ahead and finish it off. So they will go ahead and ban the Belved as we're coming back. So Draft Law had to freak us out there for a moment, but hey, we're back. All right, so I wanted to start getting ready talking about these comps that we were seeing as of this moment, but there's not much to see. And taking the Sejuani off the table, which I'm surprised about. You mentioned that the Kaiserel could pair very well with it, and taking it off the table would be a little weird to me. So if they
Yeah,
do,
I
oh, go
see
ahead.
no reason to not have a Sedge here with Rel, um, because it begs the question. Okay, Vi's not pickable. Sejuani is no longer pickable. Amumu's already banned. What is going to be your jungler here? Are you gonna go like Viego or something, and then you're gonna be relying on having a tanky top laner, which I mean isn't a horrible thing with Mundo being very strong this patch still.
Playing
And
Field
you could play for Ornn, but I just like having this tank engage champ into the jungle right now. I think it fits the jungle meta over going something else. Viego and Jinzhao aren't bad. You could go for a J4 if you wanted to.
Ragus.
Gragas this is gonna be picked up. I don't think that okay, they're gonna go for the J4. I don't think that the J4 is okay, Wukong now instead. Okay, a little
I think
indecisiveness.
we'll have to take a moment to find out what in the world they're going for. They're flipping through a bunch of ideas, and looks like they might land on that Wukong, which I think is a very strong pick. The only problem
Okay.
I'm seeing right now is they don't really have like a reliable front line, more or
Yeah.
less.
You've got
Rel
to pick
is
a front.
there. It is.
Yeah,
Okay.
they just wanted to pick Ornn. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I'm glad they went with the Wukong over the J4 just because I didn't like the J4 with their composition so far. I think he's okay. I think he's good, but like you can kind of like screw your rel if you try to engage with
Malphite.
Malphite
Oh,
seems to be
oh,
picked up, rounding out the
oh.
top lane.
Well, and no, that actually makes a lot of sense because one thing I was kind of sitting on for the past like 45 seconds is the fact that Dragoons has no AP right now. So picking Malphite into that is huge. And once this Malphite gets ahead, Dragoons are going to deal no damage. They need some AP at this moment. The only option I could think of is either Gwen or Rumble at the moment, especially because that Aurora is taken off the table. So Gwen, or we're gonna
Well,
go full AD potentially.
no.
All right.
Who needs Gwen or Rumble when you can you could do 1500 true damage on your R, DBZ? Who need who needs Gwen or Rumble?
I, I I'm trying to rationalize the thought process here because in my head I'm thinking, we need some AP on our team. We see a Malphite, and then we slap a Garen in the top lane. I
There's
understand that Ivern does a smidge of AP damage, but I don't know if that's going to end up becoming the downfall for Dragoons in this game one.
I
Yeah, I don't know.
I think saying Ivern does AP damage is just as equivalent as relying on AP Jax's scaling. Like that.
That's
It's like
why heavy quotes.
yeah, so I think that overall consensus is we're favoring the Straw Hat Pirates here with the team composition. I think that their team composition makes more sense on paper as well, at least as an Exodia Brawl composition too. So Dragoons kind of look like my solo queue games where everyone just kind of picks comfort. Um Except
Right.
nobody in my solo queue game is picking Ivern. Um but it's very interesting. I'm not gonna doubt it whatsoever because we've seen some Stranger Things work. I think we've casted like Zeri Jungle before and they absolutely
Yep.
dominated. So I think Dragoons have gone for something a little bit more comfortable, and Straw Hat Pirates have kind of like played a little bit more towards the meta, played kind of countery as well with the Malphite pick, and then they have the engage with Raoul Wukong. So this is going to be an interesting matchup to come down, but yeah, I won't knock out Dragoons until we get on the Rift, honestly.
Yeah, I will have to wait and see what happens once we get there on said Rift. In the meantime, while the teams are going to be getting into Spectale soon, we have to do our favorite game of the day. And Cilantro, you get to go first.
Ugh. Mm,
Drake Soul.
okay.
Drake Soul.
Um.
Drake Soul.
I mean, this would just be such a slap in the face for Dragoons if the Straw Hat Pirates get a Mountain Soul. So I'm just gonna go Mountain.
I think even the Hextech Soul would be pretty obnoxious for them to deal with as well. But for now, that'll do it for us. So while we expect delay waiting, we will be getting ready to get into game one. Don't you guys go nowhere or get some water. We'll be right back. So the funniest thing is we completely forgot to say who was going to send us in, and so that's why I'm doing it right now. Hi everybody, it's DBZ Freak 2. We have Cilantro as our play-by-play, and we are on the red for game one between these two teams. We have Dragoons on the red side and Straw Hat Pirates on the blue side. I almost said Small Hat Pirates for some reason. So you have a little bit of a cheeky route happening in the middle lane on it to Rain. You know, Grant is going to be looking pretty annoying on this Iron with the shielding. And we were talking about it actually during draft at least I was saying that I wasn't really a fan of Dragoon's draft because they are lacking that AP going especially into a Malphite, and if this Malphite gets tanky, they're going to be tickling him, and I'm not like actually tickling, like it's just gonna be like little tickling, like you're tickling someone's armpits, and that's all it's gonna be for the Malphite, and he's gonna have a grand old time. But this team has gonna have a lot of work to do coming into this game one.
Yeah, who knows what we're gonna be coming out on top. It is possible, if they could put a Wild Terry ahead on this Garen, it could be disgusting. You one-shot Vera, Rain, La J Wheels? La J Wheels. Okay, I'm just gonna say wheels. On this Garen, you could basically just full combo any of them. Interesting to see that Terry has opted for the TP flash. And not going for the Flash R Ignite combo. That's really hard to pull off on Garen. It's very, very difficult. Only 1 million mastery or higher is used to pulling it off. So maybe Wild Terry hasn't reached that milestone on the Garen yet. But who knows? Well, we'll see. They could put this Garen ahead though for the side of Dragoons. It could spell disaster for the side of the Straw Hat Pirates. Speaking of Straw Hat Pirates, DBZ. If you are complaining that you cannot watch One Piece,
Wait, Wukong stopped playing. Hold on. I saw Wukong kind of headed. Wukong, he was headed up top side. So for a moment there, I thought a Wild Terry was about to be in danger. But go on.
He still could be if they did decide to just collapse on him, but they don't know that he's moving now.
Hello,
He's
down
gonna go
here.
get some vision as Oop is Ignite taking away procs the barrier, flashing forward will be Wheels. Should be able to pick up a clean first blood into the bot lane here. What Marriage gets pulled back away by the row. Remount. They might be able to get both. A couple more autos. Yep, double kill for the Kaisa. Wheels picking up the domination in the bot lane early on. Should be able to get another wave under turret. But anyway, back to the more important part. If you watch 6 episodes a day for the next 6 months, you will be fully caught up on One Piece by the time it comes back on air. So don't have any excuses. As Terry burns the flash out of Farah, Grant's going to flash on in. The root's coming in from this Ivern, but that's going to be able to be an engage onto the Malphite. Phantom is just going to be purely okay with that. Saves his jungler as well.
So I'm actually shocked that Grant decided to flash there, blowing the flash, and then, yes, the root landed like you mentioned, but it doesn't really do anything. At that point, they're out of cooldowns, and they can't really follow up onto that, as Grant is kind of just being a little bit of a nuisance here, knowing that Rain is in the area, should just go ahead and back off. Almost did, actually, solo out the Wukong there, so that could have been very, very interesting. So unfortunately, we do have to talk about that bot lane play because that is huge implications for how this game is going to be set up, because we saw it earlier today. Masu went, I think, 11-0 in that third game on the Kaisa with that help with that double kill in the bottom lane. So if Wheels can pretty much keep this lead and be that threat to that back line, this bot lane is going to be a lot harder, and Braum did end up burning the flash. Now Ubi still has their flashes. We have a cheeky invade here. Probably gonna lose the buff. Yep, just the age-old classic. I actually think Wukong got it. Who got the blue buff actually? Oh, Wukong got the blue buff.
Yeah,
hey, how about that?
I don't think there's a world where invading on Ivern is so funny to me, because it's like you're not gonna get, if realistically if the enemy jungler is just better, you're not gonna get your channel off, and then second of all, you're not gonna get the camp unless you have smite. So like, it's so funny to me that they're kind of pushing for these invades. But hey, maybe they're just trying to pressure off the Wukong. Maybe, but I feel like tempo wise, Grant has just put himself behind. 32 CS already on to Vera. Sheen is back on the map, looking to full clear top to bot once again, get ready for this dragon fight. Whereas Grant has yet to recall. He spent half the game trying to look for a sort of an invade, trying to just deny this Wukong some value or some sort. And sure, he's going to go path up and clear the top side now. But tempo-wise and in terms of strength and availability on the map, Vera has a clear advantage over the game right now.
I'm looking right now at the gold, that Ivern's sitting on 1,000 gold right now, and statistically right now the Wukong is stronger. Vera having that Sheen and the dagger in the cloak. We will now see that reset coming in for the Ivern. Will be going towards what I assume. Actually, I have no idea what that is, but we might have a play in the mid lane.
They're engaging on him. He's level 6, having that Fate Sealed. Could look for a potential 2v1, but it's going to opt not to go for it. And now, with this advantage in his hand, Symbiotic Boots picked up for the Wukong as well, so he's still not going to be stronger than this. Well, then the Ivern's still not going to be stronger than this Wukong. But with this advantage item in hand, or component in hand, rather, I should say, they're going to go ahead and claim up the first set of Void Grubs while Wukong looks to continue to path down towards the bot lane and look to potentially contest this first dragon because, I mean, Wukong's not realistically worried about some sort of trade-off here. He's got the wave pryos, he's got bot prio, he's got mid prio. And on Ivern, even with Daisy, I don't think can solo the dragon this early into the game, so he's not worried about a trade-off whatsoever.
I do see them creeping up on the top side, though. I think they assume that there is a ward here. We haven't really talked about this mid lane much either, mostly because there hasn't been much happening outside of that one little gank that happened. If that fear did not hit, I do believe that is 100-0 right there from Nightmare. So that's just Yone things. Just Yone things, you know, in case anyone...
He still could look for it. He could go onto the turret, you know, a couple Q3 pokes here and there. He's got the Berserker Greaves as well. Comparatively so, just gotta play a little bit careful. Nightmare set up a proper tower dive, and then he could potentially still look for the full solo bolo. But meanwhile, both junglers starting to path and position around towards this bottom side of the map. I want to see, maybe we'll have some sort of fight lingering here for this dragon. Grant is trying to help regain this mid lane prio. Desperate wants to look for some sort of trade-off, but the bot lane, like we mentioned earlier, that, you know, things have kind of dwindled down there since the first part of the game where they got that double kill in First Blood. Yeah. But, you know, you might have this mid lane prio, but you still got to be wary if that Kai'Sa comes up to contest you on the dragon. You know, pickaxe with the Rectrix and a dagger, and AD is going to kind of almost equal out. Kai'Sa's going to have a little bit of a lead, but the BF sword is going to help potentially give them that confidence that they can still look for a fight here if they decide to for Dragoons on this dragon.
We saw it there for a hot moment that Ivern was trying to get the void scuttle rather in the river, but his bot lane didn't have prio, so was forced to give up that space. Did end up getting him when the smite came back up, but it forced him out of that side of the jungle, and it is exactly what you were saying. This Kai'Sa is able to shove these lanes faster, so she will have the prio quicker. As Nightmare will go ahead and take a small cheeky little trade. I don't anticipate we'll go in with no help there on that side of the map, but this is some really good control right now. Oh, never mind, they're fighting.
This is a little bit forced. I don't think I really like this. I think this is a little bit forced onto Nightmare. Sure, you're going to burn out the flash and everything, but you're losing out on tempo. You're losing out on timers. You had a chance there while the Ivern was off the map and in the top lane. I mean, realistically, yes, you don't have the vision. You don't know, but you had the chance to move and take that dragon. And your bot side was pushing in a wave, getting prio as well. And now you kind of missed that tempo, that timing. And so now the Wukong is essentially going to be, he's still going to have a damage advantage against this Ivern. That's going to be standard throughout the most of this game. But in terms of experience and in terms of like tempo, things have now evened up for both of these junglers. Meanwhile, topside, Terry's picking up a full plate, is going ahead drastically in CS. We haven't talked much about this top lane recently, but this is what I've been scared about. This Garen getting ahead. While, yes, it's against a Malphite, it can be a problem because, you know, Garen split pushing is annoying to have to deal with. And if you can get on the back line, get onto Rain, get onto Wheels, he can absolutely 100-0 one of them. Now we're going to have to make this decision. Do we opt for the 6 Void Grubs or do we go for first Dragon here if we are the Straw Hat Pirates?
I'm actually really shocked right now that we're not capitalizing on the static shift power spike for the Kai'Sa. Maybe maybe the reasoning here is they probably want Yon to get a little poked out, knowing that ultimate is still available for him, or maybe they're planning on entirely going for 6 grubs, which I think would make sense. But I'm really shocked that right now that Straw Hat Pirates are not playing on this power spec that this Kaisa has. She's sitting on that ship. She's 2-0. She's 10 CS up, and she is stronger. She has a level up. But we see lots of movement here onto the top side for those Void Grubs. And I think that maybe the call here is as long as we can deny these 3 to not give, or at least one to not let any true damage on these towers go over, because like you mentioned, that Garen is going to be very annoying in the side lane as Nightmare lands a knock up, but I don't think too much will come off of that, just a little bit of chip damage. So Wheels is here. They know Garen's in the back, and I hope you're ready, Cilantro. It's going to be a banger.
Oh my, that's a great route into the problem. Ultimately, Garen's coming in. Magnus going to be able to pull up with 2, but Terry's already been able to find 1. It's a 3-man knockup for the Unstoppable Force, though, and Wheels is able to trade off 1 for 1, maybe even go 2 for 1. Grant is going to be engaged upon next, and is going to go straight down to the Wukong. It's a slaughter fest. You killed Rain. Was that the prio target, though? I don't think so, and neither do the Straw Hat Pirates. They go 4 for 1 trade-off. Back to your own abyss, I could say now. I know your name is Ubis. No, I'm just gonna say Abyss. Here into the bot lane as you were only able to throw a Jinx Rocket to help it out. Maybe even get 100 to 0. Rain, you could have went for that. I'm not gonna lie. But they pick up the 6 Void Grubs. They pick up 4 kills. Malphite R was absolutely phenomenal. It's just honestly just like Rain was weak. Nightmare probably calling for the engage onto the enemy mid laner because, got him weak in the mid lane trade-offs there, but, can't leave. You go for 1 carry and Wheels just gets free reign to do whatever they please. And, I think we would have learned by now not to leave the Kaisa to do whatever they please.
Oh, yeah, she was left alone that whole time. Wheels just pumping out the damage. There was a moment there when that rocket hit. I thought the fight would have turned, but it's unfortunate that Ubis was not there, so not able to help the team max out that DPS. So it ends up being a 4 for 1, I think, at the end of that whole exchange. And now we're sitting at a 4-0 Kaisa, which is going to be very strong to deal with already with that pickaxe in hand. The Drake is still up, so neither team really opting out. As a Wild Terry might be in a precarious position here. Probably just gonna go ahead and do the Garen classic. Yep, Yeedly Deed his own way out. Actually getting chased. Am I trying to take this fight here? Wait a minute. Actually, Terry.
They catch him? I don't think they catch him. No, he flashed.
Oh,
hey, he ran flash though. That's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just see how long we can go without taking a dragon. Dragons are overrated, Ben. Who needs a dragon? Dragons. They got nerfed, so they don't do anything anymore. They're so overrated. Void Grub superior in every form or fashion.
Are superior. They did get 6, so I think that'll be very useful, especially since you did say during in the draft rather that Hui is a really decent split pusher and will be left alone in the side lane. So having that and kind of prodding and poking some of these towers down, gonna be looking forward to seeing what Rain can do on this champion. Does have the Ludens in kit. We are 13 minutes into the game. It is about 2,000, actually 2,500 gold lead in favor of the Straw Hat Pirates. So they're feeling really good about where their position is right now at this moment. Lots of first item power spikes.
Oh my!
Through.
That's gonna be a ton of damage chunked onto Nightmare. Can they finish off the kill though? Vera not gonna be in range, but he nearly soloed Bolos. This is what I was mentioning earlier in this matchup for the mid lane. As long as Nightmare can dodge the Q3, cannot get hit by the melee range trade-offs, he can fire back with unstoppable power. They're going to get 4 plates off that as well, too. I don't think it's going to be enough for first tower. Maybe they will. Will Wade decide to go for it? He's not afraid of an Ivern gank. So, yeah, I think it will be first tower for the side of blue team. So, Straw Hats picking up their first tower and first turret gold of the game on top of the way. This is a great turnaround for the tempo of this lane. Probably going to have the tier 2 boots on recall as well. Yep, finishing up the serve. Grabs that imp tone as well. And wow, this is looking really, really good for the Straw Hat Pirates. If you were telling me like nameplates turned off, like record and everything turned off, this would be a top 5 team in the league versus I'm not going to say that Dragoons is a middle of the pack team yet because I don't know too much about them in the game just started. But yeah, the way that they're playing right now, you could convince me nameplates off the Straw Hats are playing like a top 5 team.
Well, I don't know if you remember that Grant used to play in Unstoppable. I can't remember which split it was, but I've seen Grant before. I think you did too. Me, you, and Darter, I think, did a couple of games
Maybe.
with Gran Torino. Do you remember that name?
Gran Torino. Hmm. What team did he play for?
That part I don't remember because, dear
I remember
God,
teams more than I remember teams associated or players associated with teams more than
you
players
know what?
individually.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. But yes, we have casted this player before. Has actually and has been growing in skill. We used to talk about Grant a lot, and especially with how much control that he would have had in the jungle. Not really seeing that on this Ivern pick, but I mean that's not what you're expecting out of Ivern. He's more of a like kind of a shielding nuisance, as we're seeing a trait here in the top lane. Not
Doing no
really too much
damage.
damage. Once that Black Cleaver is done, then that will start to hurt a lot. So maybe we're not gonna go Black
If he's
Cleaver. I
going the Black Cleaver, he's probably going Phantom Dancer
think
next.
it's
Could be
Phantom
possible.
Dancer. So never mind, I was wrong. So we're gonna go ahead and rewind that whole thought back.
I think it's just funny. It just QE Stride Breaker on the Phantom and it did like 100 damage. It's just funny to watch sometimes. Like it's not much Terry could do differently. It's just the nature of the champion be champion. Oh my, Rain got
Oh
the fancy
wow.
feet. Terry might be the one engaged upon next. Shattering Strike's gonna come on down into the Magnet
What
Storm to the
what is
Way
this
ultimate.
Rome?
Redemption gonna be committed to maybe trying to keep this Garen up and alive and keep fighting as Ivern's gonna be there as a little bit of a friendly presence to
Whoa.
try and act as a peel, but the rest of the squad's gonna be there. Baited Seal is gonna be online for Nightmare. 80 dodges it. Rain is just got the
Wow.
fancy feet left, right, and center now. Lots of ultimates were committed though with that Magnet Storm and Hue ultimate. So I don't expect a re-engage here unless two scouts can, maybe find the perfect engage to set up Vera for the Cyclone on the Wukong. But Wheels is just getting a full turret. Meanwhile, into
Mm-hmm.
the bot lane, just giving more gold to the Kaisa. When will we learn, DPZ? When will we learn not to feed Kaisa anymore?
I also have to comment real quick that we're seeing a first item Runans on the Jinx. That's not really that conventional at all. Is
I
Phantom probably
agree.
going to be a little bit of trouble, but Wild Terry will just walk out. It's the Garen Classic, QE, run away. Usually you'll have Ghost and press Ghost, but it's a flash on this Garen. But yeah, I'm surprised we're seeing a Runans first on this Jinx. It's not typically anything that we would see. It would usually either be the Kraken Slayer first, or sometimes it would be the IE first.
Collector now.
Used to be static
Have you,
first too,
have you
but
seen the Collector Hubris build?
I have not. No, is that fun?
Oh, lethal tempo with collector hubris is it's pretty gross. If you
Oh,
it only works if they're obviously you can't play it into a tanky team. And I wouldn't try to goad if you're ahead. If you're behind, you could still maybe go the collector, but go like if you're like even, but like kind of your team's like overall kind of like behind, I'd go like the collector into like IE or something. But
okay.
I've been seeing some collector hubris on her, and if you're ahead, it's absolutely disgusting, and they don't have a tanky composition. It's pretty because like with lethal tempo and just jinx passive as well, you stack hubris like so fast, and then
Oh,
you just delete everyone.
that sounds about right. But to bring it back to this game currently, we have the top lane tower that just fell. Wild Terry got some alone time after chunking out Phantom. It's been kind of farm simulator for the past few minutes. We have the next Drake, which is a cloud up in the next 27 seconds. We're kind of a ways away from a soul with how late that first Drake was taken. I think that was probably the latest we've seen a dragon taken dominant this split so far. So it's very interesting to see like these teams like not opting in for some of those objective fights like earlier in the game. So I think both these teams knew that like they needed time to get into to a point to where this Jinx could contest this Kaisa, because as at the beginning of the game, Kaisa got a double kill, and then she's been kind of a nuisance to deal with ever since, sitting on those two items. We have the next Drake that is right now spawning. It will be the Cloud, and we have Vera in the bottom lane with that first access. It will be the Straw Hat Pirates having their way in this bottom river. There probably won't
Nice
be
has
a
two items.
contest.
Nice has two
Yeah.
items. This is looking not so great. Barely the Abyss having the only that
They just
Brunan's
landed.
Hurricane. They're gonna pick up the second dragon. Maybe they want to look for an engage into the mid lane here. Daisy's gonna be pulled on out. They're gonna continue to barrel on for this interesting Rift Herald proc. It's gonna go straight down for the mid lane tier 2. They're gonna push out this wave. Maybe they're looking to be able to get more gold into their pockets. Maybe they want to try and force a fight here under the turret as well. They have the advantage. They have a 4K just
They-
about gold lead. Malphite looking like he's taking a reset.
I should just take this.
Yeah, this is a dead turret. Okay, they claim a mid lane tier 2. They claim the second dragon of the game. I think you can just reset here and as the core in the mid lane now, just take a reset, bank the gold that you just picked up, and then try and prioritize moving towards this Baron, because you should have the gold advantage and the pocketbook to be able to kind of just play for a flip here. And with this Kai'Sa and Hui, I mean Hui is going to be in the bot lane, but with this Kai'Sa you can take Baron pretty fast.
Kind of cooking now. We're 20 minutes into the game. 4,000 gold in favor of the Dragoons. Or not in the Dragoons, I'm sorry. The Dragoons are down 4,000 gold. They're opting into this like long con, we're just going to scale kind of style now. They want Jinx to get to this like 2.5 item breakpoint before they opt into another fight, it seems. I think it is okay to do that right now. Really, Wheels is the only one that is like an actual like threat to this team. Vera is sitting on 2-0, like an item and a half right now. If that stairs gauge is completed before the next fight, then this Wukong will be absolutely terrifying. Garen's on 2 items, so if he can get to this backline, can absolutely shred the Kai'Sa, but it's going to be very hard to get past this Wukong, this Malphite in particular, and even Rel if she's in front. So the Garen's going to have a very difficult time getting that backline access that we're used to seeing in YOLO Q, where he just kind of QEs and you're dead instantly. So
YOLO Q. Oh.
I love calling it YOLO Q sometimes because
Also to point out, we have Rel first iteming this Knight's Vow to be able to put that onto Wheels. So get into my backline, Terry. I dare you. I dare you, Nightmare Terry. Get onto the backline. It's gonna take all of you to take this Kai'Sa down, if at all possible. So yeah, they're gonna be able to just be able to peel like crazy as well, if as long as Scouts, watches out for the engage from Terry and Nightmare
Wheels
onto the backline.
Oh.
Okay, Terry may be the one caught out. Blast going over the wall. Scout looking for it. Pops the speed boost. So does Terry, though. Shouting strike ends up landing. That's gonna pop the wheels. Hunting. Yep, that's the Predator. Predator in action there. Phantom picks up the kill, but all plays there by Scouts. Committing the Ignite 2, so no Garen passive going up in the area. And now it's going to be Baron started. One of your main sources of DPS out on to the gray screen simulator for the next 30 seconds. Abyss is focused on taking the mid lane turret. I don't think there's any contesting this at all if you are Dragoons. Maybe Grant can find some sort of disgusting steal over the wall. But Scouts can do the zoning, goes over the wall, Magnet Storm, full CC combo, and they're just going to send Vera 2 just for countermeasure. Nightmare Fate Sealed into the Baron pit. Might be able to find something. Cyclone, no damage is absurd. Phantom commits the unstoppable force, ends up missing out on that one, but it does not matter because it's back in from the way it damaged. And it's 10-1 DBC. It's looking like a GG. I don't want to call it too early, but I don't know, man. This is all Straw Hats Pirates. Nami is definitely steering the ship right now.
Definitely agree with you on that one. It was a play that began with Terry getting caught, and then from there, the combo of the Rel Kai'Sa is able to bring Wheels into the fight immediately, and then the rest of the team, after the fight was over, thought they could contest this Baron, but Nightmare burns the TP and unfortunately dies, does hit a good ultimate. Ubis gets Malphite ulted immediately the second he's seen, as there's that classic. Oh, never mind. That is not the classic. Rain will live with just a wee bit of HP, almost losing a Baron buff there. But now the game is in control of the Straw Hat Pirates. It's like you said, they're on their way to find the One Piece, which in this case will be the base of the Dragoons, as it looks like that Nightmare is caught once again. We'll have to burn the flash, and there's Killer Instinct to secure that kill. Man, oh man, that is one strong Kai'Sa. But this game is pretty much going to be what we're anticipating for the rest of it here on out. We called this kind of during the draft as well, with that lack of AP damage into this team comp, and the fact that Wheels started off the game with a double kill. It's just been the Kai'Sa show for the last 20 minutes of this game.
Garen moment? Oh no, we don't get a Garen moment. We haven't seen many Garen moments lately though, but they're gonna continue to push on down this bottom side of the game now. They're gonna go for the the Dragon. Solidify a soul point here. We're both wrong. It is an Infernal Soul, so technically we aren't Dragon Pit of Shame. We're kind of 0 for 1, but like at least neither one of our dragons was not the soul.
Well, you know whose was right? Ice is the one that picked Infernal, so they ended up with the Drake. But it will be Soul Point for the side of the Small Hat Pirates. Small Hat Pirates, I did it. See, I was thinking about it, and I knew I was like, I'm going to say that at some point, and then it happened. I can't believe I've done this. 25 minutes into the game, it's looking good for the Straw Hat Pirates right now at this moment. They utilized their Baron pretty well. They pretty much opened up almost the entirety of the map except for topside, which is why they're rotating up that way right now. Nightmare is going to be in the side lane, kind of trying to catch up. Terry.
Oh no, Terry. Oh no, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. There's nowhere left to go.
I like it. Put it in reverse, Terry. Terry ends up falling once again. Just unfortunately, there was too many people on that top side. You have no vision. You can't really see what's there. I don't anticipate too much more will come out of this as Yone is doing Yone things. Will just snap back. Also took a lot of trade damage, which was funny enough, mostly from the Thornmail. But the top lane tier 1 should theoretically fall. It looks like, yeah, Wheels is going to get a lot of time with that. He's absolutely melting this tower at the moment. And Straw Hats, just all they got to do is just play for themselves, or not play for themselves, but play to their strengths that they currently have. They have strong solo laners, they have a strong Kai'Sa, and the 5v5 they're just straight up better. And it's the point. It's causing Dragoons to go into desperation mode, which is why they're sending Garen into these side lanes, because Garen can be a nuisance. It looks like we got another one.
Oh, great engage! Scouts getting the Shattering Strike there onto the Braum, stepping a little bit too far for flash. This is a little greedy from Vera. They're not going to be able to find a kill. The Nightmare coming over the wall. So he could get 100-0 potentially onto Rain. Has the Fate sealed. It comes down. He's going to go at least good for one. Redemption committed to, but that's a TP. Phantom wants to come down on into this fight. Terry wants a little bit of revenge. Scouts gets the shield though. Wheels is putting in the work. And Garen pressed R, baby. He's going to be able to get himself at least one kill. But Kai'Sa going in finds Grant. Wheels is going to be the one engaged upon next. Nightmare maybe trying to find the shutdown, but going golden will be the Kai'Sa. He's down to a quarter of HP. Nightmare under the turret. That's a Kai'Sa W doing a ton of damage. Abyss forced to proc. The barrier finds 2. And Dragoons finding angles back into this game so far. Getting a little bit desperate, a little greedy under the turret after that Braum pickoff. You get 2 into the pocket of this Jinx now. Game's not over, Straw Hat Pirates. This game is not over. It's not over. Going under the turret that deep, just a little overzealous.
Got a little too hypey there under that tower dive, and it got really close. Now, crucially, a couple of kills did go into the Jinx, so this is now almost a 3-item Jinx. Garen now finishing the Lord Doms. It's not a crucial mistake. It's not a throw, we'll say, but it does give some much-needed gold back into Dragoon's hands, and I think they're feeling pretty good about that. It ended up being a 4-4 at the end of the day. Nightmare and Wheels surviving at the end of it all. But that effectively also stopped the top lane push in its entirety as well. They were looking to break open that top tier too, but I think they just, once they caught out Terry, I believe, or was it Want Marriage? I already forgot who died first at the beginning of the fight, but once they caught them out, they're like, all right, let's keep going. We can do this. And unfortunately, that tower was ramped up. They took too much damage off of the Yone and the Jinx, and it just got real awkward. But they shouldn't be shaken too much up by it, as we can see. Like I said, all Terry is doing is under the armpits tickling. You can't see what I'm doing on camera, but doing the motion. That is exactly what Garen is doing.
I don't think anyone wants to see you touching your armpits, DBZ. I don't.
No, that was not what was happening here. But objective bounties are now active. Baron has just spawned as well, and they're going to immediately turn to make the call on forward. There's no real universe where this should get contested anyways, but it does look like that the Dragoons are headed to that area. They will see it is going, but I do think this will be just stopped over the pit. There's no way.
Has to watch out. He nearly gets it. That would have been the steal of a lifetime, but Straw Hat Pirates, they get the bounty they were looking for. The Baron, the Purple Worm message, or bounty received.
Whoa!
Straight onto the Abyss. Abyss first to bring out the flash. The barrier's already going to be gone. It's going to be an unstoppable push. 3-man knock up. Now they're going to turn the sights on to Want Marriage. Continuing to barrel down the mid lane will be 2 scouts, though. No flash. Does not have the movement speed to be able to catch up on this team. This could be disaster. Reyes' Wheels He's Chris Kyle in the bot lane there with American Sniper W, and this could just be GG game number 1 for the side of the Straw Hat Pirates. They're barreling down the mid lane. It's up to the Malphite to just keep this Garen from recoiling. He's gonna force out the TP. And that might not be enough. He's coming in from the back with a little bit of a flank. Maybe going to send sights onto Rain, a squishy target. Nightmare engages on the wheels, but he goes golden immediately. Nightmare's going to be able to take him away. Open Nexus, open game, open up the mid lane because Straw Hat Pirates are coming through and taking game number 1.
That was an intense snap engage. For a moment there, I was like, you know what, this is fine. But Vera then was just like, you know what? The game is ending right now, and he's just decided, oh, W-E-R. And then it's like, all right, we go from there. And we saw Wheels coming in over the clutch, ends up absolutely blowing up the team. And there was just nothing that Dragoons could do. They were pretty much wallet diffed by that point, so they were not able to fight. They were not able to return as much damage in that fight. And Wheels going 10-0 at the end of that game, 26,000 damage, played out of their mind. It was set up so well in the bottom lane. Vera played very well on this Wukong. It was a fun game.
Absolute cinema. Well played by the Straw Hat Pirates. Dragoons got a lot to sit back and take in where we can do better, look differently, how we can come out in game number 2, what can we shut down, maybe not draft a full AD composition. I don't think that was overall because they didn't get too much into the 5v5s. With the Malphite being there, the Malphite was kind of matching the kills. So I don't think that overall ended up being that much of an issue. But I mean, hey, that rain, the damage on the way just proves to you that you need some sort of AP burst presence on your team composition. So, well, in the end, I don't think it ended up being the core factor of a problem. I think it's an easy change you can initially look at and make a change for it.
Yeah, definitely agree with on that one. But that'll be more of a later topic that we'll go ahead and get on. We're going to go ahead and take a short break after that fire game 1. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Hello. Good evening. We're back. League of Legends Game 2. I forgot it was Fearless, but I bet you guys didn't. So this is Fearless. So those champions that were played prior are not going to be played again. And we're back. I'm DBC Freak 2. That's still Cilantro on the other side. We had fun during that first game, and the sides have stayed the exact same. So nothing is going to change, and we are going to still have the Straw Hat Pirates on the blue side and Dragoons on the red side. So off rip, we have the Cassante ban first, and we're getting the Dragoons going for the Skarner ban as they're hovering right now. So maybe the bans won't change. Do you anticipate?
So far it's not looking like it. I don't think we leave Kaisa open again though. There's no possible way that we leave the Kaisa open again. But who knows? We'll
It's
see.
fearless.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I'm having a I didn't get enough sleep, all right? I have not gotten enough sleep yet. Okay. So
Well,
I'm
well,
assuming
I'll
that
argue for you on this one. The Straw Hats might ban it on blue side because it's not full fearless, I believe. So Dragoons could play it if they wanted to. There you go. I got you.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe Straw Hat Pirates aren't afraid of a Dragoon Sky, so they didn't look to be afraid of the Jinx. So, right, band sticking straightforward right out the gate so far. Maybe they want to take the Jinx themselves here. That's quite possible. They could go for the old Jinx B1. It's really good. Syndra though locked in now. I don't think now. This is this is not a bad first pick because Syndra AD carry is disgusting right now.
Okay.
It's Syndra AP carry is absolutely crazy stupid good at the moment. And so that's why I don't think that this is a bad first pick because Dragoons could arguably not be expecting a Syndra AP carry. They try to go for a counter pick here, and then that just opens up Straw Hat Pirates to have a free mid lane counter pick, and then they can just also decimate and roll this bot lane. So, do I think it's going to be thrown into the bot lane right away? It's not likely, but I would not be surprised if it is.
Okay, that could be a spicy thing we end up seeing. Syndra in the bottom lane. Dragoons will respond with the Orianna. So if this bait play that you are predicting happens, there is a universe where that could be answered pretty interestingly by the Straw Hats. They will go ahead and lock in the Gnar that will be for the top laner. So Terry will get their hands on that Gnar pick, which is we've seen is a really strong top laner. So looking to see what that is going to be coming out. This is blind now, mind you, but it is a safe pick per se. So Ornn would be a very interesting matchup to pair in to the Gnar because Ornn will typically get bullied for most of the laning phase unless we see the all infamous lane swap, which I please don't do that. But they're going to go ahead and lock it in. They're taking their time. Okay, so they lock it in. All right, interesting.
It's a safe pick, just let Ornn be tanky. You picked Malphite last time, just pick the safe pick on the Ornn this time around. Now here's where I'm gonna get a little bit questionable. Okay, we got Ezreal hover and potentially pick. Now, this is a pick that still can go into the mid lane. I don't know how it fares or how it will fare up against an Orianna. But yeah, this is a pick that could still go in the mid lane. I still think that it could be Syndra bot and Ezreal mid, but maybe I'm thinking too much. Maybe it just is a blind Syndra mid.
I mean, it's also a safe pick. It's a really good control mage, and the instant response was the Orianna. Anyways, I think the plan here for both these teams is to try to pick jungle probably as late as possible. They will go ahead and respond with the Caitlyn of their own, so we could either see a support counter pick or we could see a top counter pick. Oh, no, sorry, jungle counter pick. Actually, I take it back. So a jungle counter pick for either of these teams. So that makes me wonder if the bans are going to be more jungle focused this time around, since we know the top laners. The last time it was the Shen and one other, I think it's Shen and Belveth for the Dragoons, and then they banned two top laners on the other side, I think. But interested to see what the game plan is here. So it looks like we're going to go ahead and pinch the support pool as they will hover the Janna. Janna is a good pick with the Ezreal. Karma, it may be another one that they take off the table as well. Looks like the Nocturne will be taken off the table. The Nocturne Orianna combo that we would typically see, that makes a lot of sense to take that away. And maybe we get another support ban here. I would be actually very surprised if we're going ahead and going to focus the support pool. I mean, these enchanters with Ezreal are really annoying to deal with anyways, so that is a reason I could potentially see that if they want to kind of funnel all of their resources into these two carries and they kind of take more of a supportive role in the jungle and in the support role. But Jarvan is going to be the one taken off the table. Maybe they have some scrim knowledge that of probably when they have these two champs, they run that style of comp. So very interestingly specific bans, but it was the jungle bans for the other side. Dragoons now have the first pick. What do you think?
I think they're gonna go for jungle. Yeah, I think that Udyr rounding out the jungle, and leave that. I don't. Hmm. Either way, if you're leaving counter pick to top to support, which I don't entirely agree with a lot of good supports being on the table right now that you could
No.
definitely go for. And Xinjiao is going to be rounding out the jungle on the opposite side. They got a support pick here as well with this Ezreal. I don't know what they can decide to go for.
Israel Karma.
As
Israel.
yeah, as I'm thinking, they need some sort of. I think Xinjiao Ornn is a fine kind of engaged front line.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be too upset with an enchanter, and with Janna being away, yeah, I was really thinking about Lulu. Oh, but they're
Oh,
gonna go for
there's the
Karma.
classic. Yep.
I
Okay.
think I was thinking about Lulu because Lulu is arguably the best enchanter in the game right now. Um, but Karma rounding out with the Ezreal, standard, keeping it simple and standard.
Now, does Dragoons decide to go and engage support here? I wonder. Their team is lacking it right now at this moment, and they might have no choice but to pick either Nautilus or Leona here. Leona would probably be the best option, but this is where I'm kind of shocked, and they might go with the classic rather of the
Oh.
Caitlyn Lux, which can be very, very annoying to deal with. So I this whole time I was like, what are you saving a counter pick for her support here for? Like, unless you got something cooking. So we do see the Caitlyn Lux combo. It is very annoying. Does a lot of damage. This also means that Lux is a fake support if you are a real one, meaning you're going to build AP instead. But very, very interesting to see these two comps drastically different from the previous game. It's not really like a Kaisa delivery system, unlike the other one was. This one's going to require a lot more sustained damage, I think, minus the Syndra. But Dragoons also have kind of a mountain ahead of them right now as well. If they fall behind, this comp will be pretty useless. I won't say entirely useless, but if this comp falls behind, it's very hard to play this game. I think they can pull it off. They just have to snowball the early game, get ahead, get some more focus on these objectives as well. They didn't really have that in the previous game, so I think spend more time getting all of that ready, and I think they can do something really well here coming into this next game.
I don't like this from Dragoons. I'm not gonna lie. I think Gnar is a baited frontliner. I think that relying on Gnar as a frontliner is like
Mm-hmm.
is like relying on Poppy as a frontliner. Like it's not great. I mean, it's there. It can exist as one, but it's not great because like he's really not that tanky unless he's in Gnar form and in Mega form. And so outside of that, he's gonna kind of get chunked and bursted down. So your only real front line isn't Udyr. While Udyr is notoriously not killable. I mean, we've all watched Trick 2G play Udyr all the time.
Right.
So but while Udyr is notoriously unkillable, I don't think it's enough. Like I just don't against Xinjiao Ornn. I think that the poke damage that this team has is disgusting. Ezreal, Syndra, Karma, that is a ton of poke damage. You need more of a beefy front line and you're going for the Kit Lux, you're going for the bot lane win con, but I'm sorry, after how game one went, I don't think I'm playing for a bot lane win con. I'm playing for a front line, and yeah, it's I don't know. We'll see going into game number two. We'll see what happens. I'm never gonna knock out a comp until we see it on the Rift.
I definitely agree with you. We saw some good moments from them in the previous game, but they were too far behind. We're gonna go ahead and throw it to Drake predictions real quick. So both of ours were wrong last game, but I'm doubling down on mine, and I still think it's gonna be Hex Tech Soul.
I'm going to I'm gonna flip. I think this one's gonna be Ocean.
All right, all right, all right. And then we'll find out what Prod has. We'll find it out during the break. But we're gonna go ahead and take a short break. When we come back, we'll be gone the rip for game number 2. Is it gonna be a 2-0 sweep for the Straw Hat Pirates? And are they gonna go ahead and find the One Piece? Or are Dragoons gonna fight back and we're gonna go to game 3? Don't go nowhere.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have swapped. If this game ends up being a mountain, so I'm gonna be very, very upset. Very, very upset. I should not be swapping Dragons. And I'll be happy if I can just get at least one this league, this split. Because like I don't know how many I got last time around, but I think I only got one last time. I'm notoriously not doing very hot in this game.
Yeah, fair enough. But you know what? I believe in you for the rest of this series. So we are now getting into game 2. We said there were some adaptations that had to be made, and this time the biggest one is now we have AP in the mid lane, and it will also not be mostly reliant on single target damage in this instance, but this is a lot better for Dragoons coming into the second game. Had a little bit of cheeky trading, not too much to come out of it. Now, Wheels, who performed very well on the Kai'Sa in the previous game, we now get to see if they can do the same thing on Ezreal, who is hard, just as if not harder than Kai'Sa. I would argue that those champions are very high skill, but obviously we'll have to wait and see as the game goes ahead and goes on. As the minions are now crashing, we get some trading back and forth between the supports. The classic just. It's going to be more about who burns all their mana first. Usually it's Lux. Sometimes it could also be the Karma as well, especially going for those mantra Qs, dealing for that big old damage here in the mid lane. Who's going to use the cooldowns better? That's what we're going to go ahead and find out. And here in this top lane, this is going to be Gnar favored for a little bit up until Ornn starts getting some of that armor. So we could be in for a little bit of a barn burner this game. We could be going late depending on how these two teams play this out. So from here, I think we can anticipate some, and we haven't talked much. We might expect a lot about jungle farming in particular, because Sinzhao and Udyr do really like farming and getting to some of those item breakpoints. So whether or not we'll see these two junglers be active this game, because Vera was very active in the previous game, and that might not be the case coming into the second game.
Definitely. I mean, you never know. Xin Zhao is notoriously an early game on the map champion. He wants to get out there. He wants to set the tempo. He wants to get these laners ahead. So I'm going to be expecting Vera to play almost the same as he was with playing the Wukong. Meanwhile, we're 3 minutes in. We don't have a bot lane double kill. This is already looking very solid for the side of Dragoons. For the side of Dragoons, this is already looking pretty solid. Vera wants to come over the wall into Nightmare, who does have flash. Scout of the big lands, coming down first blood, 3 minutes in again, but this one goes over to the Syndra.
My blood stayed in there for like a solid 20 seconds before he went for that play. The minute, actually, really good trading here on the Cynic, but lots of trade damage back with that WQ on the Ezreal. So, kind of to go back to that mid lane to play, Vera was there for a hot while, and the fact that this first blood did go onto the Syndra is really huge for their scaling. This Syndra is going to be a nightmare for this Caitlyn or this Orianna and this Lux and maybe a mini Gnar as well, but it's going to be important as we hear Vera here once again being very active on the map.
Oh, no way, does he do it again? He goes over the one to Abyss. Abyss is the barrier, the flash is for flash. He's gonna eat a torch, but he gets the kill though. He at least trades 1-for-1. Grant is there into the bot lane, maybe trying to find a trade-off onto Cynic. Gotta be one Merit's flash. God. Cynic is insane on this Karma. It will be traded at least a 2-for-2 in this bot side, but it's so much worse for the side of Dragoons because not only did kill go over to the Lux, kill went over to the Udyr, but there's a massive wave under the turret that this Caitlyn's going to be missing out on, and the CS lead is already in favor of Wheels, and Wheels has an XP advantage as well.
Yes, and going back with 2 assists, also able, I believe, just now bought that. He actually bought 2 longswords, so had a little bit of gold that they were standing on prior to that play. So Wheels is going to be feeling really good about that. Caitlyn only got the 1 assist out of that whole play, so I think it's a net win for the Straw Hats. They will be going ahead and taking that. Now, in the previous game, I had said, will they play around leads as the first Drake is spawning here in the next 5 seconds? So I wonder if they are going to use this uptick in damage that the Ezreal has and start making their way towards some of these early objectives. And right now, we might be having something cheeky here in the top lane. Vera coming from out of nowhere.
This guy is all over the map at the moment. W ends up missing, so they're going to opt to not go for the engage there onto Wild Terry. But Grant, doing the Udyr things, being a power farmer, even able to steal up those chickens on the bot side of Vera there. So he's gonna have the little bit of an advantage. I'm gonna be expecting to see him. Maybe I honestly probably would, if I were him, I'd take a recall here and then come back, path towards these void grubs, and then take the void grubs because you spotted out Vera, right? You've took his chickens. You know he's in the top side. He's gonna be looking to path bot to top. Maybe we have a little bit of a caught out in the river here, though. If we can go top lane, Grant engaging onto Vera. Vera now going onto Wild. Terry's going to be able to use the W to be able to get on out.
Flash.
It's a great flash. Knock up onto Grant. Phantom Force to burn out the flash as well. Should be a kill if Grant flashes forward. It's traded 1-for-1. Vera able to salvage the play.
Ends up being a 1-for-1 at the end of that play. Grant and Vera slaying each other. There was a hot moment there where, like, I thought it was going to be both Phantom and Vera going down. Those Udyr getting another kill. This isn't going to be your wow, that was a lot of poke damage. Good lord. That is going to hurt later. Are we going last chapter? I think we're going into a potential AP Karma game, which would be even more annoying to deal with.
Malignance? Yeah, definitely. There's no reason not to first item Malignance, I don't feel.
It just does extra damage. It just makes a lot of sense to me, and especially if that's what you're aiming for, not going for that support
Dude,
style.
I swear to God, this guy, man. There's no way he's gonna do it again. There's no way he's in the bot lane again. They're going for the tower dive. He's everywhere on the map at the moment, DBZ. You were doubting what this guy was going to be able to pull off. This time around on the Xin Zhao, and he lives! He lives too! Oh my God, this guy is playing textbook Xin Zhao, I swear to God.
Vera, I am so sorry. I take everything back that I have just said in the past few minutes where I said, not sure if you're going to be too active on the map this time, maybe looking to hit an item breakpoint. Nope, you said I take that personally and immediately made plays all over the map in all 3 lanes. Just wow, just showing their prowess on this champion and getting ahead on some of these plays as well. Getting ahead of Grant also in some instances as well. We have heavy trading here on the top side. They might threaten another dive, but it would be a really bad idea with Bramble Vest being done. So they will probably just go ahead, take the plate, and back off from there. Uh-oh, Terry might be in danger.
Terry had a turret shot, I think. Oh, Phantom does not know that Grant's around in the area. I like what Vera is doing, though. I'm 100% here for it. Why? Because look at the composition that Dragoons have. They got Gnar, they've got Orianna, they've got Udyr. They just want to sit back and wait to play the game. And Vera's not letting them do that. He's getting on the map, he's getting these laners ahead early, he's getting the tempo, he's getting the advantages. I mean, 67 CS lead and a kill into the bot lane, and also a level lead as well. Level 6 wheels hitting that True Shot barrage power spike before Abyss has hit that ace in the hole. Vera is playing textbook against the scaling farm composition. He's getting his team ahead early so he can say, hey, we already have our win cons established before you can even get to scaling. I know how disgusting an Udyr is to fight later on. I know how Orianna has great power scaling. I know the Gnar doesn't want to fight without Mega Form. He's setting the tone to win the game in the early game before they can even get to the late game, and that's exactly what you need to be doing on a jungler like this.
And speaking of the early game, 800 gold, about 900 gold in the lead. Really interesting that we still have not gotten the first Drake taken as of this moment. It is still sitting on the map. No, yeah, it has not even been started.
After how last game went DBZ, you're surprised that the first Dragon's not down yet?
Well, I would have assumed because Ezreal and Syndra have a lead that they would have, done it about a few minutes ago, but they are going to start it right now. So this will be the first Drake of the game at 9.5 minutes going over. A long ways away from what maybe even a soul is going to end up being. It will be another 15 minutes before we even get to that point in the game. But as we can see, like I said, the Gnar is going to be pretty annoying. Once that Black Cleaver is done, that's also going to be quite the annoyance, as well as Wild Terry should just get this plate here. It is a Chemtech Drake that is up next. But yep, Terry's going to be pretty annoying. We got some first item breakpoints coming through. We actually have an Udyr on the top side of the map as well. There's nothing here for him to get, but maybe they're going to go ahead and try to make a dive if we actually go top side. Yeah, we got a dive coming, and I don't know if that's really ideal, as they shouldn't really go for this play, I wouldn't think, but they're going to go ahead and go for it, and here they go.
Yeah, they want to go into the turret on the Phantom. He's got the Call of the Forge God online as well. Can he outplay this? Grant eating all of the turret shots.
Oh
And
man.
it will be enough. Wow, Terry ate the empowered turret shot, though. So they do find at least a trade-off, though. They are into the top. So this Gnar having a mega CS lead over the Ornn, which is to be expected at the moment.
Guess who's
But
back?
hey, guess who's back in the bot lane? He eats a Binding Light, man. Come on, Vera. You got to be expecting that.
Did we just flash eat at like a psychopath? I think we just flash eat at like a psychopath.
God, that's what I'm doing. Limit test. Limit test. You have Sundered Sky. What do they have? Serrated Dirk? GG. Just limit test that.
Looks like we're gonna do that in the mid lane. Actually, as the scatter hits.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The box unleashed power though. Rain finding the execute on the mid laner, going 2 up in this lane. Now the foot goes to spawn. Dude, Dragoons, you know, going under the radar. We're able to take the first set, the first 3 foot grubs. And now they should be able to take the second 3. Udyr wants to contest this, man. You're 1v4 though. Grant, think about this. Think about this for a minute, all right? One marriage is coming on up, looking to be able to be that contest, but you're still 2v4, man. He's gonna blast code over the wall. No way he does this, right? No, he's got vision. Nope, not gonna go for it. That's the proper play. Let's go.
I agree with you, but crucially, Lux ended up stealing one of those grubs, so that
she did.
The 3 grubs. Yes, so that puts them at that 4 mark, and I think that's why. Oh wow, that's a lot of damage. Oh my god. But that's why Grant decided not to go into the pit there, because they got that one. They're like, all right, that's the 4. We're good with that, because that means that does allow them to have Void Mites, which can allow this Gnar to start splitting a little bit in Orianna too later, at least when she's in a better position. I mean, actually, dang, the camera switched right as that scatter looked like it was about to hit, but it does end up missing. And once again, we have Terry. It's rinse and repeat of what's going on right now.
Oh,
it stopped the back.
It did. Wow. Not enough to kill, though. Nightmare, maybe in retreat mode. Is Rain looking for the kill? He's definitely trying to scope it out. Oh, but not able to find it. Cynic, no. Oh, no, Cynic. Flash stun straight onto the corner. She flashes away from the Lux ultimate, though. Will end up not able to land a root of their own, but now engaging is Wheels going straight onto Abyss. Has the
Wheels.
Stacks. He is absolutely weaving in autos left, right, and center. Bear's coming on down as well. This True Shot Barrage will be back online. Shoot, Marriage! Oh, Marriage has to burn out the flash shield just to be able to live there. Vera, if you do this again, man, they know you're there. They have to know you're there. The Caitlyn trap for Vision, they're so scared of this Xinjiao going into the turret. And rightfully so. Grant's going to be there for a little bit of peel, but they want to maybe take this first turret. They got the 3 footers. Vera doesn't know that Grant's there. He might be able to land the knock until the root comes on down. And the Cynic Mantra Q is able to assassinate Vera, flashing on forward. Maybe he was able to find Grant. He's going to end up landing ace in the hole. Not going to be nearly enough, but might be enough to just slow down a little bit off the fact that Barry is here, and he's going to be able to find Wheels.
Oh my god.
Able to find more. He's WQing in. Can he find Cynic? The blast cone should be enough to be able to help them retreat. No, slowed up. Flashing of the war. Terry.
Oh my god.
He finds Cynic. The Gnar is absolutely disgusting, and you can hear Phantom in the top lane right now, screaming at his teammates, why'd you feed my laner? Because now this Gnar is going to start becoming a bit of a problem, and he wants to continue to run down onto Vera. He's going to get a triple kill, DBZ.
Oh, wow. Okay, there's way too much to go over because a lot happened during that whole play. So the fight started out as a 2v3 in the bottom lane. Wheels then ease forward and dealing a lot of damage to Ubis, which forces the response from Grant, but Vera is there on the timing. We did not see what happened mid lane, but it was a flash R from the Syndra, so at some point, Syndra's doing exactly what she does now, except doesn't have the ultimate, so not gonna be getting that. I'm sorry, but if you take one more combo, you were gonna die. Good on you, Grant, for getting chickens and getting out. So we didn't see the mid lane play, what happened. Then, at the end of the day, then Terry TPs down after getting first tower in the top lane and already had time to back finish the Triforce and TP in to come help his team for the play. It ends up getting a double kill at the end of all of that. But man, oh man, the gold swing is now in favor of Dragoons. This is their gold lead at the moment, 1.2k. Feeling really good about this next potential fight. Actually, looks like they will have the first move on the Drake for the side of those. Oh, that almost hit. That was really close, but wow, a lot has happened, and it's an Infernal Soul again.
Yay!
All right, what did
I did not predict Infernal. He predicted Chemtech. He didn't double down. So we're 0 for 2.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. You know, no big
Everything is
deal.
dandy. Yeah,
Bot lane
yeah.
tower most likely will fall. We're not salty at all, by the way, that the game doubles down on itself. See, you know who would be gloating right now if he was here? Darter.
Yeah, no, 100%. Meanwhile, Terry might not have room to gloat. Is he? No, no, he might actually have room to gloat.
Syndra's coming.
Rain's coming up, though. He already used an RW. Great engage there by Vera, going straight on in. Can he land the knockup? Does come down. Scatter the weak stun. Q. Oh,
Nice.
does not need to commit the ultimate, so they are able to find Terry on this Gnar. They do get the kill over to the Ornn, though. Not realistically, probably the person you want to be able to have that one. But they are going to go get that bot lane turret in the meanwhile. So overall, you know, not a great bot lane play that goes into the favor or there not too long ago for Straw Hat Pirates. But the trade-offs that they've had since then, they haven't shut down. They're still getting prio. They're still getting advantages across the map. Yep. They're still in a winning form. They're still in winning condition.
I definitely agree with you on that one. And we just saw there on the top side, they made a collapse play onto Wild Terry. And the caveat to that, I will say that it was worth to give the shutdown to the Ornn because Vera has 3 kills and Rain also has 3 kills. So giving that extra gold to the Ornn did close this gold gap a little bit. It's still 3k, but you know, it is what it is. But, I mean, you're getting more of those tank items for this Ornn because it will get to a point where Ornn will not be able to be bothered too much by a Wild Terry. Now, if the Black Cleaver is in the picture, that's a different story. But I think that is fine. You want this Ornn to be your solid frontline. But I do have to say, you are completely 100% correct. The trade-offs that Straw Hats have done been very, very well. And they opened up the bot lane tower. We saw that a moment ago. Mid lane tower is low. I imagine because they are on 2 drinks, they will probably either drop the first Drake or try to get first prio for the soul point to force Dragoons into them. They reclaim the gold lead for a hot second, but it's basically even now. This shouldn't really kill, so I think Cynic will just walk out of that. Oh, hello, Terry.
That's a Wild Terry coming in from the jungle where he belongs, going to full combo into Phantom. That's a ton of damage onto the back of his Ornn. I mean, that's what you're going to expect out of a Triforce Gnar right there. Phantom still not having first item. I think getting a little indecisive on what he wants to build, as he has both a Bramble Vest and a Bomby Cinder. Nice. Meanwhile, first turret in the mid lane is going to end up falling. Are they going to continue to barrel on? That's a 2 minutes out of the week. One marriage is absolutely gone. True Shot Barrage for a little bit of extra damage under the back foot. And are they going to continue to barrel onto this turret? They don't have 6 Vigors. They don't have a wave. They might have to just kind of back on off 2 minutes before the next Dragon's going to be online. This could be a soul point. Cynic, I don't like you being here anymore. Yeah, see how the rest of your team backed off. Yeah, you need to kind of back off a little bit there too. They're just going to steal what jungle camps are up and what he can go for. Looking to get towards that second item on this Xin Zhao. I mean, look at the farm gap that that Grant has on this Udyr. That is, that's just Udyr in a nutshell. He's got a 1 level lead as well. But honestly, you know, Vera just doesn't care because the rest of his team is so far ahead because of how active he was on the map early on. So it's kind of a one-man Grant feeding himself crew versus Vera feeding the rest of the team. And that's kind of a little bit of the nature of this Udyr pick.
Right there with you. Want Marriage going to go ahead and take a little bit of damage from this Karma. That is a Malignance Karma that, like we mentioned earlier, we have the Drake spawning in about a minute's time. Now, both these teams are even. Actually, the gold lead has gone back up. Actually, oh no, they're down gold. Actually, I take it back. So currently they're down gold. I think that bot lane tower falling is what kind of swung the gold back. So this game has been fairly even. I think these next fights are going to come to a cooldown div. Because once Rain blows that ultimate onto somebody, assuming it's either Nightmare or Ubis that ends up dying from it, they're going to be looking for that follow-up damage, and that's where the Xin Zhao and the Ezreal come in. They can definitely just yeet themselves forward into the fight, deal the damage that they need to do, because there really is no true front line on the side of the Dragoons right now. Yes, you could argue the Udyr because he currently has Leandries and the Deadman's right now. Oh,
he's excited.
Bullied.
Oh, no, Flash knockup comes out. He has to go unstoppable. And you already used that Mystic, the True Shot Barrage. That's, well, it's not that too desperate of a cooldown. It doesn't do that much damage. If you can hit multiple members, that's a good bit of chunk damage going into this dragon fight. I'm looking at Rain. I'm looking at this Ezreal. Ezreal has 2 items over the Caitlyn right now, having
Here
only
we
that
go.
1 item. Can they find Abyss? Abyss could be the target. Unleash power.
He
1
lived.
HP. Cynic, go for it. Yes, Cynic is able to find it. Karma Monster Q is able to find the kill off now. We have a pit fight happening. Will Grant be able to steal up this dragon? Wheels has to go over the wall. And no, it's Farah
Wow,
able
they
to
got
clean
it.
it on up. Grant is just not able to find it there. Cynic finds 2 into the mid lane. Nightmare trades off 1 for onto Vera, but he already did his job as a jungler. Claims the objective. You lose 2. You lose the dragon as well. Oh no,
man,
Dragoons. Dragoons, you have a gold lead, but you don't have a macro lead right now.
Dragoons did have Terry in the split, though, so was not there for that fight. I'm actually surprised that Vera was able to get the Drake there, so that lands them onto Soul Point. The fight afterwards went all haywire. It was the classic Rain doing the thing, doing the Syndra thing. You press R and you die for free because that's just how that champion works. Terry being annoying here, stealing these objectives in these little minor camps away means that's gold and resources being taken away. Actually, I'm going to look right now. So a 4.2k gold lead is what Wild Terry has. So right now at this moment, he is the gold lead, if we're being completely honest right now. That is where all of their damage and all of their pressure is. So if Wild Terry dies, that pretty much evens out the rest of the fights for the rest of this game. Now, on the other side of the map, Syndra is ahead, Ezreal is 2k ahead, and then the Karma is 1.2k ahead. But that's naturally because she's been poking and prodding and doing a lot of annoying Karma things.
4 kills.
Also that too.
That's 1,200 gold right there. So, yeah, but I'm looking at this shutdown on the Udyr right now. He's just going to continue to power farm, which we know the 1421's not out, so the bounty changes have not hit. Even with the bounty changes hitting, he's still going to have this shutdown. Give that to the Karma, or not the Karma. Give that to the Syndra. Give that shutdown to the Ezreal. It's only 200 gold, but that's an extra 300. That's 500. That's almost a full component. So that could spell an item completion for one of these 2 carries, which could just snowball into the later half of this game. Meanwhile, some vision just being cleaned up and picked off for the rest of the map. Now, somebody's got to keep relying on this Gnar split pushing, because let's look at the side of the towers. You have 3 towers down on the side of Dragoons. You've taken 3 towers comparatively to only 2 that you've got on the side of the Straw Hat Pirates. Luxold coming onto wheels.
Cleanse.
You just can't get hit. No cleanse, just can't get hit by Lux binding.
Yikes, that was terribly unlucky. Just right at the end of the biting, so Wattmayer securing that kill, and Caitlyn getting their first kill, and Grant can now just walk into the jungle and take whatever they want. We're getting to that point where the game is starting to slip out of control for the Straw Hat Pirates right now at this moment. Dear God, that Gnar damage. Oh my God. All right.
I mainly contributed to this lack of towers. There's no towers gone on the side of Dragoons. They're missing a mid lane and a bot side. That's cool. You're missing your mid lane, you're missing your entire top side, and you're about to be missing your entire bot side. Meanwhile, Rain is contributing massive damage to be able to go straight onto Grant, but he gets shut down. Lux ultimate comes on out as Vera's trying to at least trade off, but it's a 4 versus 2. Ezreal missed True Shot Barrage, does nearly no damage, and Vera just gets chain CC'd into oblivion, is unable to trade 1-for-1. Phantom TP's on in, and this is not a good TP. We'll maybe be able to at least go 1-for-1 as Wheels is able to trade it on off. But the damage has already been done. The kills have already been picked up for Dragoons. Your bot lane turret is already gone. It's spelling like the Legos are just falling all over the place. Your SpaghettiOs are on the floor, Straw Hat Pirates.
I'm very, very surprised they opted in for that fight with how far Wheels was from that. Had to end up using the True Shot Barrage, and just with that lack of DPS, just they were not able to get kills there. Once Rain blows the whole combo, like I said, that's it. You're kind of waiting on cooldowns from there. But I think this is a good start. I mean, 4.5k gold up rather for the side of Dragoons. They're looking to want to take this for game 3. They want this game 3. They want to win this series. And I have to say they're in prime position to do so right now at this moment. Ubis has bounced back before, able to deal a lot of damage. is ahead of, I think actually behind the Ezreal. Yeah, 1,000 gold behind, but still incredibly strong. Just once this Caitlyn gets that third item, she will be absolutely online, and it's going to be up to her just to stay in the back and not get one shot. And this Gnar, Wild Terry's been playing out of their mind on this champion. They're now trying to get position for this Soul in 23 seconds. Well, it's going to be Soul Point for Straw Hats. Yeah, I think they should just give it. Yeah, flip it. Flip this. Go to Baron right now and flip it. That is what I think they should do.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. You need gold. You need a gold lead. You need something. Your Syndra needs 3 items. Your Ezreal needs 3 items. Please do not throw the game taking up. This dragon's already gone, man. It's gone. You're late to the fight. You're late into the pit. Udyr's gonna shred this thing. There's yeah, Lux binding already coming on out. Phantom's already down. Vera does not have an angle to get on in. Eats a Caitlyn trap. The dragon's already gone. Vera goes in for the engage. Dragon's going to be smited away. Goes over to the side of the red team. Lux ultimate is going to come down. It's so much damage, but there's just no one to be able to stop these two. Terry goes on in with the Gnar ultimate. Is going to be able to pull in Rain and Wheels. Ace in the hole. It's just disastrous. They don't take the trade off. And that's just going to be a dragon pick up for the side of Dragoons. Grant barreling everything on down. It's a 1-4 ace trade off on the side of Dragoons. And yeah, this is, you might be up. You might have Soul Point as like a win con, but they're going to go take the dragon now. They're going to extend this gold lead. There's not much left that the Straw Hat Pirates can realistically do. You need to just bank on Ornn upgrading items and your carry is hitting 3 items or more. Like that's all you have left in the pocket. That's all you have left to do.
I don't think they should have went for that play either. It's like you said, they were late to the fight. They did not have first prio. At that point, I think you have to make the desperation call to force the Dragoons to come to you. In this case, that does not end up being the play. So they will lose the Baron right now. This will give more gold over, and I think that Dragoons they're like they hurt us. They hurt us. They're like, wait, go to game 3. Oh yeah, we'll do that. They did not keel over. They rapidly changed their game plan, and we're seeing what they can do when they have a lead. This is a completely different team compared to game 1, and I have to say this is looking much better for them.
I have to agree with you there. This is looking very disastrous for the side of the Straw Hat Pirates. Scoreline 15-15. Game theoretically looks even, but just look at the gold. Look at the difference. Yeah. It's sure you might have we have Soul soon win con, but that's not even really a win con right now because you can't win a team fight. You have to win a team fight to get the Soul, and right now there's just no team fight winning when you're down this much gold. Rain needs that Rabadon's death cap in his back pocket ASAP, and this Caitlyn at this rate, if the game keeps going, they're gonna hit 3 items before the Ezreal will be able to. And I mean, Grant just has a 3-level lead over the side of Vera at the moment. Scout of the week gonna go wide. That should be a cue just to not fight anything. Do not go for any sort of engage. Vera having that Serix though is gonna be a little bit tankier, survive a little bit in these fights. While Terry,
oh my god,
is split pushing Norman. This guy has not been in. Has been in a couple team fights here, but you don't need him in a team fight if he's just winning the entire map. Like I went to attribute to earlier, Call of the Forge God coming on in. Nightmare going to be the one getting knocked up. Nope, no one ends up getting knocked up. Pharaoh looking for the engage. The Lux ult's going to be able to come on down. The Crescent Guard's going to be committed, but the Lux binding is going to be able to find him, knock him up. Okay, that's a kill. You've killed Nightmare. That's one. You don't need to dig any deeper. You don't need to go any farther. Just take what you got and run away with it. Cash that gold. Get Rain. Get that Rabadon's death cap as soon as possible, and just continue to wave clear because there's those single out picks is all you've got in the pocket right now.
Fortunately, their wave clear is not that great. Wow, actually, they ended up losing the mid lane tower there. Terry might just go mega and try to end the game here.
Yeah, I think Phantom is just dead too. He blast coned over the wall. Grant's just gonna be able to run him down. Shutdown though. Okay. Are coming online. I think Abyss DC. There's no way he just randomly walked into 3 people like that. That has to be like a DC or something. Like there's no physical way. But the Syndra picking up 2 kills there. Well, we have no referee whistle. No one calling for a pause. Nothing like that.
Okay.
Syndra picked up 2. Has that Rabadon's death cap now. Has upgraded Ludens. This is not a bad turnaround for Straw Hat Pirates. It's not bad. They're back. I wouldn't say they're fully back in it yet, but it's really good.
It's really good base defense as well. The objective bounties are now going to be falling off after those couple of shutdowns that they ended up getting. Now we have another Ornn item coming through that will be the Syndra on
Oh, it's the
3.
Mana Moon! He upgraded the Mana Moon.
Oh, interesting. Huh. Okay. Usually I would have assumed they would have went for the Triforce on that one, but maybe they called for that for a reason. I'm not sure. But now we're getting ready for another dragon fight here, maybe in the next like 39 seconds. So what that means is obviously Straw Hats are going to want first move into this. They're going to try to do what they can to get first access, should be a little threatening, try to get some vision down, and they're going to try to poke out Grant, or fight, actually.
Grant taking a ton of damage. Crescent Guard is going to be able to make sure he doesn't eat up that damage. Grant is so weak, this might commit it to be able to slow him down, but he will not be able to find the kill. Now Phantom looking for a potential engage there. With the Nightmare gets a double knock.
Oh my god.
He's going to be able to help find the kill. Phantom's able to clean up one. It's going to be a 4v5 scout of the week.
Oh my god, that was good.
Let him for the engage. Abyss, you got to be careful. That's a lot of damage onto Phantom, though, but you guys picked up the prio. Move to the dragon. Go. Udyr just back. You have soul. Just burn it. This is your timer. Udyr took a reset. You have time to be able to burn this. Prio the dragon. Full prio the dragon. Everybody, take this down. Udyr's going to be back in the next 10 seconds. Can they be able to pick up the soul? This is a great turnaround for them if they can get it. Blast over the wall, but they're not going to be able to find it. Now it's potentially Grant caught on out. No, you don't need to take a fight here. Syndra, scout of the week on the Wild Terry. Ace in the hole coming on down. He gets he assassinates Wild Terry, and Phantom, you'll trade out your life, but honest to God, you're kind of okay with that because Abyss falls in the mid lane too. It's phenomenal turnaround for the Straw Hat Pirates. They might be able to do it, DBZ.
I don't know what to say. I'm just absolutely shocked right now. From 8k gold down, the Straw Hat Pirates are able to make these plays. They were 8k gold down. That was a lot of damage onto Grant there. But oh my.
I'm hitting mystic shots.
They get the soul. They get the fight after that. They catch out Ubis in the mid lane. And I'm actually
away. He flashes for that. And the mystic shots are insane. We have a TP coming out as well. Oh my days. Is this one of the greatest comebacks we've seen in Dominant? This is absurd what the Straw Hat Pirates are pulling off right now.
This is absolutely insanity. I don't know what to think right now. We have the TP coming in from the Ornn. They see this. They should just back off. There were a couple of pings onto this top lane tower. I have to say, we might be right, because I don't recall any gold leads that we have witnessed come back this far.
Frank gets rooted. He's going to eat a ton of damage. Terry trying to pull up that Gnar bar. But Vera going
there we
go. The Forge God comes down. The chain CC knocks up one marriage into the back line. One to bring out the flash. Another great knock up on the Wild Terry. He's trying to engage. He's going to be able to get onto Wheels. Grant gets knocked up again, though. Wheels ends up falling. That's a frontline damage. Gone. Ray goes unstoppable. When he able to pick up the kill, and it's going to be a TP coming out of base. It's Oriana coming in. Has that shockwave. Could be absolutely massive to be able to turn this fight around. Look at the HP bars. They're looking pretty weak. But the Baron might be looking a little bit weaker. Grant just trying to be able to heal on up off of that potential red buff. Phantom's going to be there to play a little bit of that zoning pressure, though. Try and pull Grant away. He does not have the flash. Can't go over the wall. He might just come on in. And Phantom just solos one marriage. And the Oriana ends up falling too. Grant going in to find the potential steal. He will end up claiming it, but it's going to cost him his life. Is that worth it? The only person who has it is the Caitlyn.
What just happened? A lot just happened. There was a 4-for-1 at the end of the play. The Baron is stolen. So honestly, you're if you are the Dragoons, you stop this game from pretty much getting out of control, because Straw Hats were making the plays and they were about to come back into this game. Honestly, they're still not out. They're statistically ahead right now at the moment. Yes, in kills, they're down in gold for sure, but because most of that gold lead is all on one person, the game feels much closer than it is. And now that some of these carries on the side of the Straw Hats have hit their break points, they can take these fights on their terms now. The good news is the Baron's off the map. The bad news is Elder Drake is in about 2.5 minutes time. So if this game goes on any longer, we could potentially see an Elder Drake fight, and I don't even know who could win that fight.
Neither do I. Grant still has that 2-level lead over Vera at the moment. So Barra trying to desperately hit that level 16, needs that spike for the last tick of the ultimate upgrade. While Grant's gonna have basically a fully upgraded ability, so it's I don't know. The chain CC could be enough to be able to win out this fight, like they were able to win out into the mid lane. But we'll have to wait and see. That Spirit Visage is gonna come up clean for Grant or being able to stick alive throughout those team fights a little bit longer.
An absolute gnarly
no
comeback! Oh my god!
Oh my god, this champion is disgusting.
Wow, that is a death cap 10 into Syndra, in case anyone's wondering. How much AP does Blood have? Hold on.
764.
764. Yeah.
Call the Force God committed on Notary. The knockup actually ends up landing. Okay. Cynic and Rain are roaming down too. If they can get a pick onto the Gnar here, we got about 90 seconds until this next dragon's going to be up. The root comes on down. Can they be able to pick up the skill? Goes to Mega. Last ditch effort. They give it over to the Syndra. Rain goes legendary. We have 123 before the dragon's going to be up. The Gnar is realistically going to be alive for this fight. Might be late onto the rotation, but they're cleaning up these turrets now. They can push on and maybe take this bot side tier 2, but they're looking to barrel down mid. I don't think I agree with this. I think you take the bot side tier 2. I think you look to take this bot side tier 2 flash. It burns flash out of Syndra though. Not Syndra. It burns flash out of the Caitlyn though. That's a massive cooldown. That's not going to be up going into this dragon fight. That's mega worth it.
Okay. But at the cost of Syndra's flash as well. These Mystic Qs are going to do a lot of damage. There is a universe where I fully believe that it could be okay, and Rain knew exactly what they were doing. They're baiting out that play, and these Ezreal Qs are going to be hurting. This is a full build Ezreal almost, down really right now with the pink ward in the inventory. But they're trying to get as much bot lane prio as they can for this Elder Drake. It's in 26 seconds. Orange should have another item component by the time they go back into base. They do have teleport to join this fight.
Are they going to collapse in the mid lane?
The item's open.
Orange Oh no, Vera is looking for a nightmare. Grant does not know where to go just yet. Everyone on the side of Dragoons is all over the place as Rain gets a ton of chunk damage straight down onto Grant. Dodges out that Lux Hughes. Grant is already half HP. That's your front line getting poked down. Terry looking for a potential engage. Meganar bar is going to be online. I'd like to see this kited out, if possible, from the side of the Straw Hat Pirates. Wait out that Gnar bar. Gnar bar already down to about half HP. Terry's going to be completely useless after this, and it's looking like that's what they want to do, but they're going to use this to gain prio on into the river.
Yep.
Shove into the mid lane. Look at these flank angles that they have with all this mid lane prio, this mid lane pressure. The wave is getting crashed under your inhibitor turret. That's a Lux binding on to Vera. That's Xin Zhao getting engaged. But now he's going for the engage. It's a great call. Nightmare gets absolutely decimated, and now the straight engage onto Wild Terry. Grant gets knocked on up in the middle of the pit. Goes airborne. Great stun onto Abyss. Maybe they need to find this 80 carry. The damage is starting to come back in turn as Abyss gets absolutely poked out by a Karma Q. Goes down to Wheels, going over the wall with the Mystic shots, and now turning his sights onto Terry. Terry's gonna get the Stair Shield though. Goes Mega once again, second time in this fight.
Oh no, this is huge!
And Sidney's able to the kill. Grant is 1 HP as well. They're absolutely doing it, ABC. I cannot believe Rain is putting up all this damage. It's so insurmountable. Grant is the only one left standing, has to retreat away. And I talked about this before, that poke damage that the Straw Hat Pirates have. They're looking to go for this full-on ace. Grant, you might need to get out of there. The truth. Oh
my god.
Kenny. The game's not over yet, though. DBC, the game's not over yet.
No, it's not over, but my god, gold leads be damned. The Straw Hat Pirates, using the power of friendship and pirates and all that nonsense, they end up coming back from an 8,000 or 9,000 gold deficit. They have the gold lead. They could end the game right here, right now, and they are going to take this 2-0 over the Dragoons. An incredible game 2. Never back down, never what. This is why we don't FF games.
Syndra is a balanced champion. Oh my god. Syndra. Oh my. Rain reigning supreme, for lack of better words. That was phenomenal gameplay from the side of the Straw Hat Pirates. Way to stick to it. That right there proves to me that they have the capabilities of being a top 5 team and dominant, because they had the mental fortitude, they had the tools, and they have the needs to be able to come back in a game like that. That's how championship level teams are made.
I definitely agree with you. I really wish I could have seen like a gold graph for that game. 'Cause that was insanity what we witnessed. We literally were already talking about a game 3 possibility coming out, but the Straw Hat Pirates pulled it together. They picked the fights they knew they could win, going for really good picks as well, and then capitalizing on the time that they had to make space on the map, get their own objectives, and just they ended up winning the series out just 2-0. Incredible. It was a treat to watch, and I'm glad that we got to see that, especially with how fun World has been as well. So we keep getting that exciting League of Legends.
Yeah, definitely for sure. What a series. What a series we had on our hands. Dragoons almost able to come up with the game, but Straw Hat Pirates, phenomenal fortitude, championship level fortitude there. Would love to see more of them going forward in this season and in this league. But for now, I think that's gonna do it for us tonight.
Yep. That'll do it. You heard it here first. Cilantro already halfway out of his chair, probably going to go bother your cat, aren't you?
No, I don't know
Oh.
where she is.
Oh, well, never mind. So we will be back next Sunday with more Dominant. You guys know the schedule for the rest of the week. We have League of Legends every single day on this channel. We have Team Builder. Then we have Mythical. Then we have Divine. And then we're back with Draft Unstoppable Rampage and us as well. So you guys will have a great time. Have a great Sunday evening. I'm glad the Lions won. The Bengals won for Cilantro. So we're both pretty happy. Have a good night. Drink lots of water. And we'll see you next time.